Alrighty, people, what is happening? Now, typically there's two people on your screen, and right now it's just me, so just to get that out of the way, Badaki is not feeling well today. All right, he's a little bit under the weather, so give him a tag on the Discord and say, hey, hope you're feeling better, brother, but he is currently a little bit under the weather, so that's why he's not with me, and that is why I am going solo dolo today. I appreciate y'all for being here with me, and I absolutely do apologize for the lateness. It is actually unacceptable, but if you care, the reason why I was late is there's just so much going on right now, guys. There's so much happening right now on the back end that I'm trying to kind of keep up with and stay above the water. It's all good things, but it's all just a lot. So I was just recording content, and I was so into it, I forgot what time it is. I was like, oh my gosh, all right, I need to get this video done. So I do apologize. I am here. I'm ready for a fantastic stream, and I'm hoping you're ready to do the absolute same. Now, I would like to share a little bit of family house news. All right. So we have had our video editor, and we absolutely love him. His name is Sammy. He's incredible, man. We love that guy. We've formed such an incredible connection with him. I actually just want to hang out with him. Lives in Amsterdam. We're huge fans of him. Now, he's incredible at what he does. We're so proud to have worked with him. But he is about to transition into kind of doing his own thing, you know, wanting to build something for himself, which I can respect so much. And that means that we have some family news, which means that there is an opening with Fantasyland, with Dynastyland. Okay. So if you are out there and you're watching this stream or you're watching it later and you fit under these categories, number one, you're a video editor, right? You have experience with it. Unfortunately, if you're using CapCut or using some mobile app, it's not going to work. We need someone who has those legitimate softwares, your DaVinci Resolve, your Premiere Pros, Adobe Cloud, Creative Cloud type of stuff. So if you have experience, if you're passionate about the NFL, fantasy football, dynasty football, you want to work in the space and you want to grow long-term with us here at Dynastyland and Fantasyland Football, then we potentially have an incredible opportunity for you. Now, I actually posted this over on our Discord earlier, in case you missed it. But there is a forum that we are sending around right now. A forum. Actually, I don't know why I said forum. A forum that we're sending around right now. And if you'd like to apply, you'd like to be a part of the family, you think, you know what, that suits me. You know, you think I'd like to be a part of that, and I fit that criteria, and I think I'd have a lot of fun. I think I'd do great work. Then you can apply with the form that I'm putting in the chat right now. And if you're watching this later, it's on the Discord under Fantasyland announcements. Okay, so right there on that left, Fantasyland announcements. So again, if you fit that category and you want to join the family, then feel free to join us, okay? Or apply through the site. I will say it's definitely a bonus if you live in like the UK Europe area just for time zone and working with us, right? It's definitely a bonus, but it's not a requirement. We've already had a lot of great people apply, so if you've applied, I see you. We're just waiting to get all these responses and see what, sort of incredible people we might be able to work with. So if that's you, yeah, check out the link in the comment there. All right. And feel free to DM me if you have any questions. But I appreciate y'all for being here with me. This WG says, I have zero experience, but you can't afford me, which I love to see. But what is up, B-Dog? What's up, Macy? 51 days until the NFL draft. What's up, Styles, Albert, Scribbles, Tunchi, WG, Cheeseheads in the building. What's up, Jason in the building, Dale, Faulty, Monkey Pack, Gage, Jai, Fantasy Football Garage. What is up, people? Welcome in, welcome in. We appreciate you for being here. This is a two-part stream, okay? The first part is doing a Dynasty startup mock draft, okay? That is the first part of today's stream. Now, the second part will be reviewing some people's Dynasty teams live and getting them their team playbooks, okay? So if you're out there and you want your team reviewed, I can tell you right now we have 3 open spots for a same day live review. All right. So if you're out there and you want to be in that queue for today, you want to get a team playbook, which is a customized guide for your offseason, customized trade targets, knowing what to do in your league, how to progress forward, what pathway you should take. Use the promo code LAND, become an annual Mother Flocker member, or if you're a member with a different promo code, you can go to the Flock store and purchase a team review there. Just make sure it's live if you want it done live. That link is in the comment, in the chat. I just put it in there. It's also in the description, flockfantasy.com/land. But again, 3 open spots for tonight. We already have a couple people lined up, but 3 open spots if you want to get a same day review. No pressure, of course, if you're just here for the mock draft. All right, as the majority of you will be. So let's get into the startup draft. I'm excited. I think the combine might have changed a little bit of how people view these rookies. I think they'll be going a little bit higher as well. So if you guys want to join this mock draft, you can join our Discord. All right. And this is the link to our Discord. I'll put that in the chat. Anytime we go live, anytime we release content or opportunities to join our team or streams or opportunities to join a mock draft, it'll be under Fantasyland and under announcements. So here is the link to join the startup mock. Okay, so here we go. Sending that link out in 3, 2, 1. That is first come, first serve. It will be Superflex, PPR, tight end premium. There will be a 3rd round reversal to kind of even things out as well. And I need to pull up my Superflex rankings because without them, I feel hopeless. I feel hopeless without my rankings, if I'm honest with you guys. So, and it is 54 days until our real drafts start. Yes. Just so you guys know, in the month of late April and May and June, we will be live streaming a ton of real Dynasty rookie drafts. I cannot wait for that day. Hey, do a friend, hit that, do us a favor, be a friend, hit the like button. I got a like goal today of 100 likes. With your help, I think we can get there. Let's get this 12-team Superflex PPR startup mock draft started in 3, 2, 1. As Dexter's on the clock, he goes Jaden Daniels. Good pick. Come on, baby. Even as a Giants fan, you see the Malik Neighbors in the profile pick. He says, you know what? I can recognize greatness. And he takes Jaden Daniels at the 101, who just got help with Deebo Samuel, right? He was already my 101. Now he gets help with Deebo Samuel. What else could this team do in the offseason? Could they add to the offensive line? Could they draft another weapon? Could they add a running back? A lot of things can still happen. Then we see Josh Allen off the board. Lamar Jackson off the board. Jalen Hurts, the big 4, if you will. Well, there's a big 5. Let's see. Jamar Chase comes off the board at the 105 as well. There goes the big 5, Joe Burrow. So we get Chase, Burrow, Jefferson, and Shaboy is on the clock here at the 108. And yeah, difficult position, actually. Difficult position to be in, not gonna lie. It's a toughie. Yeah, I think there's a drop-off at quarterback. I will go with wide receiver. I'll probably go Malik. I meant to draft CeeDee Lamb. That's okay. We'll go Malik Neighbors. I meant to draft CeeDee Lamb. That's what we call brain fog. But it's okay. What's up, David? Welcome in. Patty says, go Birds. Do a friend. Did I say that? Oop, did I say that? Dexter has to take Deebo in round 2 to get the stack. You'd love to see it. What's up, Austin? Welcome in. What's up, T? Welcome in. What's up, Bo? He says, wide receiver 1, Jerry Jeudy for the 205. That's probably about even. I don't have a strong opinion on that trade. That's about exactly, even value right now. Yeah, definitely could have made worse mistakes. No doubt about it. So in the first 9 picks, we get 4 wide receivers, 5 quarterbacks. J-Mac is on the clock. I'm hoping he's not inactive for his first pick. Okay, I was going to say, J-Mac, are you really inactive first pick? He goes Puka Nacua. We've got Moose and Evie. Evie, who's always in the chat. Obviously gets into the startup mock as well. Brock Bowers goes at the 111. We didn't clarify if there's any tight end premium or not, but not a bad pick there at all whatsoever. Dan says, I have my first Dynasty League startup draft at the same spot, the 108, and heavily leaning CD. Yeah, that's probably what I would have done if I could redo that pick. As Jahmyr Gibbs and Brian Thomas come off the board, that's a really fun start there at the 12 spot, man. I really like that start. That's hot. That's hot. I'm not going to lie. That's hot, people. Styles says, Zach, do you prefer Burrow or Chase if you had the 105 in a startup today? I think it would come down to team construction. Like, are we talking start 8 Superflex? Probably going to lean Jamar Chase. Are we talking start 10? Might lean Burrow. It's very close between those two options, though. Bijan Robinson comes off the board there at the 202. But don't forget, Joe Burrow just was the quarterback 3 on a points per game basis, right? I mean, those two guys shine together. What's up, Alex? Says Hampton at the 102 a smart move. If I'm stacked at wide receiver and need running back badly, I don't think it's a bad move per se. I mean, it'll come down to the NFL draft. If the NFL draft pans out in a way where Hampton goes round 1, I have no problem with that type of move at all. All right, so Patrick Mahomes comes off the board at the 204. I was hoping to grab another receiver here like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. Obviously, he goes ahead. Gibbs and Bijan also go ahead. And I might go ahead. Thinking about value right now, I think the 101 is more valuable in a trade than any other player on the board currently. I believe, based off the community right now, that Ashton Genty, the 101, is going to be more valuable than any other player on the board there. So I am going to go Ashton Genty. I'll take Ashton off the board. I believe he is in that same tier when he gets drafted. He's going to be in that same tier for me, most likely, with Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. He is that level of prospect. I am confident he's going to be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. So, actually just recorded a video about what these picks are worth. If you want to shop them, that video will be out on Monday. And I'm excited for you guys to see that. Nico Collins, another name I was definitely considering at the 205 as well. Moose says, drafted Bowers, assuming it's a tight end premium, which makes sense. What's up, Bears? He said, do you prefer a startup before the draft or after? It depends on how experienced you are in Dynasty, because if you're an experienced Dynasty player, I would say I prefer before the draft, just because I think you have an edge. But if you're more the casual and you're doing it for, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like, the word casual is kind of used as like to talk someone down. There's nothing wrong if you're casually playing Dynasty football, right? If you have a life outside of it. But if you're more into like the casual swing of things, probably best for you to wait until after the draft so things are a little bit more clear. But if you have a real good pulse on what's happening in the NFL pre-free agency, a really good pulse on these prospects, I think you have a real big advantage of drafting before the NFL draft. So yeah. T says Genty over Nico Collins. Really? Is that surprising to people? Is Genty over Collins? Is that mind blowing? Is that that doesn't seem crazy to me? Is that? I guess I could. I love me some Nico Collins. I think if I traded the 101 away, I would need Nico Collins plus though. I would need like Nico Collins in like the 201. Yeah, I don't think I'd be willing to part with the 101 for Nico, personally. Love to hear the chat's thoughts on that, though. Moose says, I'm taking Genty. He's the goats of all goats. As Saquon Barkley at the 210. We also saw Caleb Williams and Justin Herbert go as well. Style says it's pretty close. Daniel says, I wouldn't trade Nico for the 101 straight up. Would need multiple firsts. Okay. See, I wouldn't go that far, but I would trade, like, if I could get the 110 in Nico, I'd send the 101 away, but it's close. Yeah, we should talk about the Saquon Barkley extension. Saquon Barkley, if you don't know, was just extended today by the Eagles. And it was a 2-year extension worth $41 million. And that puts him on their books until 2028. Okay? So we are going to have Saquon probably on this team until 2028. You'll notice there's no out. They might not have added it yet, but you'll notice there's no out in the contract as it currently is constructed. Now, maybe Spotrac is still getting it all together. But if there's no out, that becomes very interesting because he's locked in there for 1, 2, 3, 4 years. I'm sure they're still getting all the details together. But he signs a 2-year, $41 million extension to stay in Philadelphia. Still prefer the 101 over him, but the 102 now, if you're a contender, you can confidently send away for Saquon. All right, third round reversal happens as Drake London lands at the 212. Then we get Bo Nix. Damn it. I was hoping Bo Nix was going to fall to me. He falls at the 301 to Evie, who's always on the stream, so I'm sure she knows I love me some Bo Nix. Then Marvin Harrison comes off the board. I was eyeing up Bo Nix as he fell completely out of round 2. We were about to pull the damn trigger, and Evie just ruins it for us. Just absolutely ruins it for us. As Jordan Love also comes off the board. Effie says, sorry, sports. I don't know why that's so funny to me. There are like certain terminologies where I just feel like they're so disrespectful. Sport is not one of them, but it gave me a good laugh. The one that is super disrespectful is when someone calls you buddy. Like, if you ever call me buddy, I'm assuming you're meaning it in a very disrespectful term. I used to work at Apple, and people would come into Apple, and they would be so rude, just expecting you to move mountains for them and being completely unrealistic. And if someone set me off at Apple while I was working, I'd be like, I would definitely hit them with the buddy. Like, well, buddy, I'm sorry, man. You know, like, I would definitely hit them with the buddy to throw them off track. It's like, there's no way. This is unacceptable. I'm sorry, buddy. Like, you kind of got to throw it with them. Am I the only one? Maybe I'm just petty. That could be the case. I might actually just be a very petty person. All right, I'm on the clock here. I think we're going to go ahead and grab Lab McConkey here. We'll grab Lab McConkey at the 305. Continue to build around that wide receiver room, running back room. Don't like the quarterbacks available in the third round here. So we're going to punt it further. I'm not your buddy, pal. W just says, sure, bud. Look here, pal. Yeah. So I used to work at Apple, and some of the most out-of-pocket conversations would happen. Like, one time this dad came in with his 2 sons, and his sons were probably like 3 and 6 years old. He brought in an Android tablet to Apple, and he threw it on the table and said, teach my son how to use this. And I said, sir, we don't make this product. I'd have to teach myself how to use it first. I've never used an Android tablet. And he got so upset to the point where he was like, hey, what gym do you go to? He's like, this is the gym I go to. You should find me there. Like, you want me to go to your gym? Like, I was confused. Like, what do you want me to go to your gym? He's like, yeah, I want to fight you. I said, sorry, just to be clear, like, you have your 2 sons here, aged what, 3 or 6, somewhere around that. You bring in a product that we don't even sell, and now you want to fight me? Am I understanding? Am I following here? Is this what's happening right now? He's like, yeah, I'd love to fight you. I said, okay, bud. All right, bud. You want to speak to a manager? Let me go get a manager for you, bud. Like, just hit him with the buds, bro. Yeah, obviously I wasn't good at de-escalating. But I mean, what are you doing? You're bringing an Android product into Apple and demanding someone. I don't know how to use the Android product, dude. Chill out. So those are the type of ways you can use bud. All right. But we see Afterlap, McConkey, McBride, JSN, Wilson, Higgins. I just love this tier of wide receiver in round 3, man. It's a great tier of wide receivers you can build around. You know, obviously I've loved Lad the Space Creator for a hot minute, but I love this tier of players that you can build around right here, right now. Bucko, yeah. I bring Bucko into it. That's hilarious. He loves to fight. Yeah, some people aren't nice. WG says your customer service, and I'm a customer service, man. What's up, Dylan? So we've got an updated rookie mock draft coming out tomorrow for you guys. And I've done those about once every month and a half or so. But essentially, after the combine, I do think things have changed. I think the top of the draft has changed. So we did a live version of that yesterday with the community, but I'm bringing out a video tomorrow about exactly how I see it currently. And then on Monday, we have a video coming out where I tell you exactly what you can sell every one of your first round picks for. So if you have the 101, the 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 11, 12, then I'm going to tell you exactly what you could sell them for in today's market should you want to move on from those picks. So excited for that video to come out as well. Put a ton of effort into it. It's going to be a high quality video for you guys. And yeah, excited for y'all to see it. So after Higgins, we get some Bucky Irving, and I will not take the disrespect, Moose. All right, we won't take any Bucky Irving disrespect on this channel. All right, Bucky Irving goes in AJ Brown, Amarion Hampton, Roma Dunze, Tet McMillan also coming off the board there. Kyler Murray at the 403. I like the start from Bear here. Now, I don't know what your wide receiver is going to look like, Bear, but I don't mind this start right here. Rashee Rice. Love the pick. In fact, I was like, could I get Rashee Rice in the 4th round? I love the Rashee Rice pick. He's a tough pick for some people to make. I get it, right? The looming suspension, the injury he has to recover from. But I keep leaning back on the fact that we had his rookie season, back half, and the start of this 2024 season where he was just the alpha, man. He was dominant for Patrick Mahomes. The offense ran through Rashee Rice. And I don't think Xavier Worthy can do that for this team. I think he'd be a good compliment, but I think they really need Rice long-term on that offense. He is the future Kelsey-Mahomes connection. It's going to be Rice-Mahomes, in my humble opinion, as Breece Hall comes off the board. Yeah, look, Bucky in the 3rd, I'll grant that. Bucky in the 3rd is wild. I'm not even sure if I'm comfortable with Achane in the 3rd. For me, at least, if I'm a startup right now, I'm only going Gibbs, Bijan, or Genty in the first 3 rounds. And if they're not available, I'm probably just building around other areas. Just personal philosophy. You know, we talked about this on a video recently where I told you guys a list of running backs I'm comfortable building around. And we told you guys that in the last 4 years, almost 80% of the time, if you drafted a running back in the first 9 rounds, it lost value the next year. So I am very particular about how I'll do my startups. So while I do love Bucky, I can agree 3rd round's a little tough to digest. I can hear where you guys are at. As Brock Bowers comes off the Brock Purdy, and you know Deebo moves on. Now the conversation is, all right, how much is Big Cock Brock gonna get paid? How much money is this man gonna be putting in his pockets? That's the conversation we are now asking with Brock Purdy, because he's gonna get paid. He's going to get paid. In fact, I have one of my good friends is a 49ers fan. I texted him last night. I said, how much are you comfortable paying Brock Purdy? He says 40 to 45. I said, oof. How much do you think he's going to get paid? Because he's not getting paid 40 to 45. I promise you that. As I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr. off the board here at the 408. He said, I think he's probably going to get 55 to 58 million per year. And I said, I think that feels about right? If you put that 58 million over 5 years, you're looking at, quick math, right? 58, you're looking at about 290 million. So yeah, actually Moose isn't far off there. I think he's going to be in that 55 to 60 range. Is he worth it? That's not up for me to decide, but I think that's going to be his range. As Johnny Taylor comes off the board there at the 409. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be the range for old Big Cock Brock. Moose says definitely worth it. As a Seahawks fan, you love to see it. Yeah, Joe Burrow range, okay. Rowan says went from last pick in the draft to a $250,000 contract. You got to show the man some love, honestly. That is impressive. Dylan says Zach Savage, no, I'd be 50 million, but they just wait till next year, according to Adam Schefter, resident Niners fan. Okay. They can wait till next year. It's going to get more expensive if they wait. So we have a couple people asking, is anyone nervous about Breece Hall? Styles asked the question. Crime Lord asked the question. He says, are you nervous? Do you like the value in the 4th round? I'm indifferent. I find it concerning that the game Breece Hall missed with Braylon and Isaiah Davis, they really didn't miss a beat. Now, of course, those players aren't Breece Hall, but I find it a little concerning that this organization said, okay, we're missing Breece, but we didn't skip a beat in this game from the rushing attack. So it is a little bit concerning. There's an injury history there, but all it takes is one healthy season from Breece Hall to go out there and earn some money, especially the way the NFL is changing, right? Saquon Barkley just got how much money? We saw Josh Jacobs get a decent contract. So if he can come out this year and establish himself, I do think he can gain value. But the 4th round, how do I say this? The most likely outcome is that pick has a small chance of really shooting up value in the dynasty community. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're talking outcomes for most running backs. Now, Breece Hall isn't most running backs. But when you push him up that high, it does make it slightly difficult to see the outcome in which he drastically improves value. Okay, is that a fair assessment? Is that fair to say? As JJ McCarthy comes off the board, and I was eyeing up JJ. Whew! Damn, y'all are making it hard here. I mean, I don't think quarterbacks are a value anymore, man. Trevor went. Yeah, I don't think I want to force a quarterback here, dude. I can recognize I probably need one. I just don't want to force it. Yeah, we're not going to force it. We're going to grab our second rookie here. We're going to grab Luther Burden. Now, I have Luther Burden and Ted McMillan tied as my wide receiver 1. So you guys see Ted McMillan at the 402, and you're like, okay, I like that. That is good value, and I'd agree with you. I like that pick. I see Luther Burden at the 505 and say, okay, I have a guy that I believe locked himself into round 1 after the combine that I'm a big fan of. I think he can be the next Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, right? Cooper Kupp, maybe. He's not the same route runner as Cooper Kupp. But this JSN Deebo Samuel combo. So I'll take him there at the 505. I'll take my first rookie off the board. Definitely was going to take a Goff, a McCarthy, a Lawrence range at the 505, but I don't want to force the position there just to force it. Don't want to force it just to force it. Moose says, I'm not a believer in McCarthy coming out of Michigan, so I am good from that handoff merchant. I really liked him, man. I really, really liked watching J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. I think specifically throwing on the run, I think he's massively underrated in that area. And Sam Darnold, I mean, guys, think about it. Where did Sam Darnold have success in the NFL? How many trips has he been on? He had it in Minnesota. And you think about that coaching staff with that offense around him. There is not an offense in the NFL that is more set up to help a quarterback succeed than the Minnesota offense. So, exactly, Austin. You took the words out of my mouth. KOC turns lemons into lemonade. You know we love that, baby. You know we love that. Scribble says, I wanted Luther to Washington. Doesn't feel likely now with the Deebo move. Yeah, I kind of agree. I was dreaming about Deebo to Washington, and I do think now it's probably off the books. It's probably a no-go at this point, I'd say. It's in. I can't answer this question yet because I need quarterbacks, and I'm gonna try and get them at a decent value here in this draft. So I can't answer that just yet. Yeah, Laporta is a good value there. 5'10". That's a pretty good value. You know, he was playing injured for a lot of the year, so we have to keep that in mind. It's just so tough to take a tight end in a startup, man. After this last year, if it's not McBride or Bowers, it's so hard to stomach the pick. You feel unwell making the pick of a tight end. You know what I mean? Like it's rough. Crime Lord says, Deebo have any upside this season, you believe? I honestly do. Like, I kind of, and I know they're different players, guys, but the way I'm thinking about it personally is, and we love Stephon Diggs as a pick last year. I kind of almost feel, and I know it's not the same thing, I almost feel like it's kind of Stephon Diggs to Houston last year. And I say that saying the second half of his last season in Buffalo, Stephon Diggs fell off a cliff. Fell off a cliff entirely. And the wash narrative was everywhere, right? He's washed. He goes to Houston. He was one of my favorite picks in the 4th, 5th round of redraft leagues this last year. And he just produces. All right, he gets different scenery, new motivation, and he just produces. And I think we could see something similar this year with Deebo Samuel. A lot of people don't realize he had pneumonia. He was injured for the majority of the season. There was never really a point where he could focus on his conditioning. And what you got to realize is nobody in the NFL threw more screens than the Washington Commanders in 2024. Nobody in the NFL threw more screens. So if you want to talk about fit with coordinator, it's about as seamless as it gets. All right. And I think he has great potential. If he can stay healthy, I don't see why he can't finish top 28 on a points per game basis. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of view it a little bit. Now, does that make him a super valuable dynasty asset? Probably not, right? He's still 29 years old as a guy who wins with physicality. But I still think he has something in the tank. As we see Tyler Warren coming off the board, as well as Josh Jacobs. This is so interesting, guys. I talk about this in the video I record today, which will come out on Monday, but I am perplexed by the value of Josh Jacobs this offseason. I'm truly perplexed. In this world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's the RB15 off the board. I'm really trying to understand the Josh Jacobs fall. I mean, we saw him carry their entire damn offense the second half of the season. Week 10 onwards, he's the RB4. I'm really confused. Has a multi-year contract still. The running back is valuing running backs, or the NFL is valuing running backs more. I I'm struggling to understand the value right now of Josh Jacobs. Why is he the RB16? I can't really wrap my head around it, if I'm honest with you guys. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand at the moment. Yeah, I love the Bryce Young pick as well. I'm annoyed because that was definitely going to be my next pick. I was lining up Bryce Young. I was lining up Brycey. And he didn't fall to me, unfortunately. Chris Olave, wow. What a pick. All right, Bryce Young is off the board. I still don't want to force quarterback here, man. I still don't feel like it's the right pick. I'm going to keep following the process here. And I'm going to get a running back that, frankly, I'm confused why they're still available. Frankly, I don't understand why they're on the board still. Yeah. We're going to go back-to-back rookies here. We're going to take Travion Henderson here. Unless he already went. He already went? I'm an idiot. So that was the solution. Was that I'm an idiot. Where the hell did he go? He went to 410. I'm a freaking idiot. That's the problem. Okay. We're going to pivot. I mean, Devonta Smith at the 608. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. You guys love how I was like setting myself up to like make a great pick, but the reality was I'm actually just an idiot. Jordan Addison comes off the board. Pivot. What's up, Lonnie? Says, have you scouted Deont Thornton yet from Tennessee? I haven't, man. I haven't scouted him yet. He's not going to be in V3. He'll be in V4. We're planning on releasing V3 of a rookie report tomorrow, by the way, with the combine updates. But yeah, no, have not scouted him just yet. Definitely want to. He's definitely one of those names that I've got written down. I can't really think of a time where there's been a name that I didn't know, and then they dominated the combine and they became like a true name to look out for. Like, it almost gives me what's the guy that went to New York, the New York Giants, and he just killed the combine. What was his name? Do you guys remember? He was like a 7th round pick. It's giving me those vibes, but I can't remember what his name was. What was the kid's name? What was his name? He had like absolutely dominated the combine, man. Maybe he was an undrafted free agent. Let's see. Man. Yes. Thank you, Rowan. I was like, it's this hyphenated name. Yes, Bryce Ford Wheaton. That's the vibes I'm getting, but I haven't watched the film yet, so I can't really say that with any confidence. Caleb Johnson comes off the board. Not gonna lie, was definitely eyeing him up for my next pick. And you know, we don't get to make the pick. That's okay. Was definitely eyeing him up for that next pick though. And by the way, if he goes round 2, there's no way he's gonna fall to the 6'11". You guys need to know that. We need to be on the same page there. If he goes round 2, there ain't no way the guy is falling all the way down to the 6'11". It's just not happening. Can we be on the same page, guys? Chad says, in the middle of a startup currently, and Dart is going to be my quarterback too to go along with Darnold. No. Oh, Chad, can we please put some prayer hands up for Chad? My man is struggling right now. My man is on struggle street. He needs a friend. He needs the community to say it's gonna be okay. That's a toughie. That's a toughie, my friend. It's not ideal, is it? That's not ideal. I wish you the best of luck, my friend. All right, as George Pickens comes off the board, that's a great pick. I was just eyeing him up, Emeka Egbuka. But that gives me the confidence to go ahead and take Shedeur Sanders here. There's been a lot of talk about Shedeur Sanders, man. I mean, look, personally, I think some of it he created for himself. But I think it has gone a little too far. People questioning his character. Look, the guy grew up with prime Sanders. He played collegiate football at a D1 school, point blank period. Can I tell you how arrogant I would be if my dad was one of the greatest NFL players of all time and I played collegiate football and I did it at a high level? Can I tell you guys how arrogant I would be? Can I tell you how full of myself I would be? Honestly, it would be far beyond what Shedeur Sanders does. But here's what I will say. What I didn't love is the whole flashing, the watch when he beat the 1-5 Arizona State team last year. Like, some of it he does to himself. So I understand why people feel that way. But the questioning his character and stuff, I don't think the people who are even questioning it actually know about him. I can evaluate his film. I can look at his analytics and his numbers, but I don't know who he is above his shoulders. And for the vast majority of people on Twitter, by the way, which is the most toxic place on earth on social media, for the vast majority of people on Twitter, they have no idea who he is. They have no idea. They could never speak about his character. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'll take him there at the 705. I couldn't agree more. Twitter is a cesspool. You said it perfectly. By the way, we also saw Matthew Golden go off the board, which I was eyeing up there. He's probably a first-round pick. He falls all the way to the 708. That's another incredible value. Good pick there from Hands. Yes, Shedeur went that late. I mean, there is reports, by the way, that, a podcast that I highly respect, the NFL Stock Exchange, Trevor Sikkema, and those guys, love them. Absolutely love their content, man. Can't speak more highly of it. And they said this today. They said that they're not 100% sure Shedeur Sanders goes in the first round anymore. That shocked me, I'm not going to lie. Because with all the teams that have quarterback needs, with the connection with Tom Brady, I began this process saying I didn't have a locked and loaded first round grade on any of these quarterbacks, including Cam Ward. And I guess now it's time to adjust, because maybe people are starting to see that with Cam Ward, with Shedeur Sanders. Now, look, if Shedeur Sanders is a second round pick, ain't no way you're touching him in the 7th round. But if he is a first round pick, let's say the Raiders trade up at pick 26 to pick Shedeur Sanders, I think it's well worth the risk here at this point, right? I mean, Cam Ward goes at the 502. We get Shedeur Sanders at the 705. I'm comfortable with that myself. As Travis Hunter also comes off the board here. Love that pick. Great risk reward. I retweeted this yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yes. I retweeted this from Destin Adden, who is a Colts beat writer, and 32 beat writers quoted this tweet. And they said, I was able to speak with 8 scouts in total. 5 of them shared with me that their team views Travis Hunter as a wide receiver, and 3 of them have him listed as a cornerback. When asked if they see him having a role on both sides, they all agreed it would be a mistake not to utilize his unicorn ability to play both positions at a high level. we keep hearing more and more evidence that people view Travis Hunter as a receiver. That's very encouraging, man. That's encouraging for the value of this class. That's encouraging for Travis Hunter, because if he was a full-time receiver, y'all know I've said this, he would be my 102. He'd be my number one receiver in this class. So I was very pleased to see that report come out. I was very, very pleased to see that report. Yeah, in Mad Hats, that could be possible. Now, to say he's not good, I disagree. I think, do you think Tua Tags is good? I think he's a middle-level quarterback. And if Tua Tags was back in this class as a prospect, you know, and that's kind of what you're getting with Shedeur Sanders. An accurate guy who doesn't have the best, you know, velocity or deep strength, but can run an offense for you. What's up, J-Mo? Says, with Deebo going to the Commanders, do you think B-Rob's value goes up or down? No, I don't think it impacts B-Rob's value. I'm more concerned about them drafting a receiver. In fact, I've been trying to sell B-Rob all offseason, to be honest with you, man. Wow, things just got thin. Things just got thin, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do it. We'll take A-Rich here. Outside of CJ Stroud, A-Rich was one of our biggest sell highs last offseason. He was going at the 206 range. And now we're taking him 1 year later at the 808. I'm trying to sell B-Rob for any early second. I would take any early second for him easily. I am convinced that the Commanders are going to add a running back. I'm convinced. So I would be active, and I'm not convinced B-Rob is even worth an early second anyway, even if they don't draft the running back. I like the value on Tua there. I definitely like the value. I was looking at him. I agree with the statement from Bears. Ceiling is a little bit lower, but his floor is way higher. Yeah, I agree, Aiden. He's a unicorn. You got to use him as a unicorn, right? I definitely agree with that sentiment. Loveland did go late at the 805. In fact, if Loveland was there at the 808, that would have been my pick. 808 and heartbreaks. But, yeah, I love that pick for Colson Loveland. I mean, I don't understand how he's going 2.5 rounds after Tyler Warren. That is shocking to me. And I like Tyler Warren, right? That's not anti-Tyler Warren. It's just, how in the world is that happening? That don't make no sense to me. All right, so we see Mixon, Tracy, Dart coming off the board for Evie there. Aiden says, Bleacher Report posted a mock draft today and had Hampton going to the Commanders. Really? I got to have a look at this. I would like that. I would like that a lot. Let's see. 11 hours ago, is that it? Was it the one 11 hours ago? Let's see. Hampton. Okay, yeah, this must be it. All right, we'll dive into this after my next pick here. I want to make sure I make the right pick. Nobody else can do it, even if they tried. Da, 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 da. Okay, Josh Downs off the board there at the 902. You know we love us some Josh Downs. The player, obviously. Interesting part of this draft, man. Interesting part of this draft here in the 9th round. And again, we are going to get to some team playbooks here after this mock draft. We have 3 open spots if you want to get a same-day review on this very stream. If you want your team playbook, which is a customized guide for your offseason, what to do with, you know, trades and draft capital, you can become an annual member with the promo code LAND. Or if you're on a different promo code, then you can get one through the Flock store. And just make sure you get that live tier if you want it done live. That link is in the chat. It's also in the description but we have 3 open spots, whether you want to become an annual member, which is the best bang for your buck, or if you just want to purchase one a la carte. 3 spots for a same day turnaround on this very stream. No pressure at all. We already got a couple people signed up. Jaden Reed off the board at the 903. I actually think that's an incredible value there for Jaden Reed. I think maybe the hate's gone a little too far. I'm on the clock. This is interesting here. This is interesting. I don't think it's too early. We're going to do it. We're going to take Cam Skattebo off the board. Welcome home, Cam Skattebo. Building this running back room around the rookies. What's up, JB Cool? He says, hey, I upgraded to the annual membership, but I guess I didn't activate the promo code. I also sent this in site issues on the Discord. Any help would be appreciated. Yes. So let me tag our developers in that. Let me see. So you put it in site issues you mentioned. Let me see here. Site issues. Okay, let me tag them. And let me get them, have them sort that out. But yeah, so if you like just upgraded recently, then they won't have a problem helping you out there. So yeah, we should be able to figure that out. I 100% think we can figure that out. Jason, I was trying to play the ADP game, Jason. And then Giddens goes off the board next. I didn't mind which way I was going to go there. I have them back to back in my rankings. I was just trying to play the ADP game. Now I think you took Giddens regardless of if you were going to say it or not. But I was trying to keep it on down low. Okay, so after Skattebo, we had Godwin, Giddens, Shakir's a nice pick there, safe pick. Jacoby Myers, Keon Coleman. You know, we weren't the biggest believers of Keon Coleman last year, but for him to go at the 9-10, that ain't bad. That ain't bad, honestly. Okay, Tootin off the board. I was definitely considering him as well. It was between Giddens, Skattebo, and Tootin there. And I wanted to get 2 of them. That's why I didn't want to say it was between those 3. I wanted to grab 2 of them, boys. But unfortunately, we ended up with just uno. Just un poquito. I'm not going to try and speak Spanish. I don't know what I'm saying. Poquito? What does poquito mean? Uno poquito? Is that something? No. All right, don't try, Zach. You're going to say something stupid. Scootin' Tootin off the board at the 9-12. Love the pick. Absolutely love the pick. Un poquito. That's right. Un poquito. All right. We just have someone, I think, who signed up. But I think they signed up for an offline review. So I'll have to double check with them. As we see, Dylan Sampson. Damn it, Jack Bash. I always forget you guys have my rankings. It's impossible. You know it's even more hard when is trading in our leagues when everyone has all of our rankings. It makes it impossible to get a deal done. Gage says, have you guys ever thought about doing a portfolio review where you could take a quick look at the majority of the teams and be blunt on our expectations? That's an interesting idea, Gage. So you're saying you can submit, like, let's say you can submit 4 teams and the review would have to be much shorter per team So instead of us spending like 20 minutes on each team, it'd have to be like 5 minutes on each team, or maybe 2 to 3 minutes on each team, and just give you a brief breakdown and maybe one trade idea per team. That could be actually really interesting. Gage, I like this. Portfolio review. You guys have some great ideas. I'm always open to your ideas. I'm going to text Badaki about this right now. Ooh, you could be cooking up something here, brother. All right, Captain Ron. That's you, Ron? That must be you, Ron Chapman. Yeah, we got your review here, brother. So you'll be on the live stream for us, with us rather. You are good to go, my friend. We have 2 more spots if you want to get your live review in. What's up, LT Gray? Just saw this super chat here. It says, fantasy football sleeping on Jerry Jeudy now. Overreaction. Wake up, sheeple. Yeah, I mean, I love Jerry Jeudy. I brought him as a buy in a video a month or 2 ago, so I like me some Jerry Jeudy. Okay, so we had Besh off the board. We had Higgins off the board. We had Royals off the board. All players I wanted to add. But we didn't have Jalen Noel off the board yet, did we? Jalen Noel's still available, right? Or is he taken? Did someone take Jalen? Hold on, guys. Is he not in their database? Okay, he is. Okay, I was like, wait, why is he not coming up? Okay. We'll take Jalen Noel here. I couldn't remember if they added him or not. Yep, we'll take the other Iowa State guy. We love both of them. We just have a certain love that we can't not express for Jalen Noel there. David Njoku is a fantastic pick in the 10th round as well. But yeah, Ron, you're good. So again, guys, we have 2 spots now, just 2 spots if you want a same day live review. I'll put that link in the chat again, flockfantasy.com/land. If you want to become an annual member, you'll get a voucher for a playbook, or you can purchase one just through the Flock store, the live tier there as well if you like. But Ron, what's up, man? It's good to have you here, brother. I think you purchased the review. I don't think you purchased a membership. I think you purchased a review, but you can go to our Discord and talk to our developers about that in the site issues tab. They might be able to help you upgrade that to a membership if you wanted. All right, so I'm annoyed because I saw all these tight ends and I was like, oh, we're all stacking them up. Let's just keep letting them fall. And I let them fall too far. Arroyo was on my mind. And he gone. Dylan says you're lower on Higgins than the community. Am I? I really don't think I am. Like, I love Jaden Higgins. I think I'm just higher on Jalen Royals and Jack Besh. I think that's the problem. Like, if you actually look at my rankings, Royals, Besh, Noel, and Higgins and Harris are all back to back to back to back. So you can have Higgins as my wide receiver 6 if it makes you feel better. They're literally back to back to back in my big board. I really don't. I just love Noel. I just have a certain obsession with that player. Yeah, I am. Oh, okay, awesome, Ron. I'm great. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. DM me if you have any questions, by the way, on Twitter or Discord. I'll always help you out if you guys have any questions about that. But I also just want to say again a big shout out to T Gray here, being a member for 33 months on YouTube. Definitely appreciate you big time. As Harold Fanning comes off the board after Michael Pittman, has the Michael Pittman hate gone too far? Is there potential that Michael Pittman is becoming a massive value? I didn't say there is. I didn't say he is. I'm asking the question. We're posing the question. You know what we're going to do? We're going to take a sneaky little dive at Jawan Jennings here. What if Jawan Jennings just has a monster season? We've heard they could trade Ayuk. We've heard that. What if Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall just go hamburglar this year? That could be fun. Maybe that's it. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver 6, and teared off in Avery's video today. Yeah, that's fine if people view him in that light. What's up? Matt Hat says, I like Royals more than all of them, but I've got Besh, but I've Besh get a lot of pushback recently. Jennings at wide receiver 2 would slap. I agree. I absolutely agree. What's up, Joseph? He says, how much of some of these picks are massive overreaction from the combine? Well, ultimately, the draft capital will determine everything, right? I mean, if Tootin's actually a third-round pick where I'm projecting him, I think that's a good pick. You know, if Egbuka is a first-round pick, the 704 is a steal. Same with Matthew Golden. If Hampton actually goes in round 1, I promise you're not going to get him at the 312. Guys, I promise you, if Hampton is a first-round pick, there ain't no way he's falling to the 312. This man will be the RB4 in Dynasty. Am I crazy? I mean, he's not... If he's a round 1 pick, he's going Marvin Harrison range. Early 3rd. You know? I mean, that's what I think. RG, he's getting mocked in the first round, brother. He just tested as an elite athlete, brother. We also had reports come out that people viewed him as the RB1 in the class. You might not think so. I mean, this is the latest mock draft from Bleacher Report. We also saw in recent mock drafts from Lance Zierlein. But in this one, he goes 29th to the Commanders. Let's have a look at this mock draft real quick from Bleacher Report here. So they have the Browns going with Cam. They have the Giants trading up for Shedeur. That's shocking. So maybe this isn't very reliable. Maybe Lance Zierlein's a little bit more reliable. But we've got the Patriots going Travis Hunter. Tech goes at 8 to the Panthers there. And this one, Tyler Warren to the Colts. That's everyone has that sharpied in right now. Colson Loveland to the Broncos. That's another common pick. Ashton Genty to the Chargers. Oh my God. Could you guys imagine? Egbuka to the Texans would be incredible. Then we get the Rams going golden right after. Sheesh. Commanders get Omarion. That'd be kind of crazy. That'd be kind of crazy. Wright, Harris, Pacheco, Martinez, all off the board. Pacheco could be a value, man. I mean, if they don't invest in, a high pick and a running back and they let him recover this offseason, could end up being a value pick. I can recognize that. Tight ends are disgusting, aren't they? Just absolutely disgusting here. Derrick Henry was drafted in the 2nd round. Hampton's a better prospect. My man, you really think if we put Derrick Henry back into the NFL draft, he would be a 2nd round pick? I mean, that's a silly argument. Puka Nacua was a 5th round pick. I mean, what are we talking about? Let's see. I was actually going to grab Trey Benson. Now I'm a bit not sure. Let's grab Devontae Adams. It's a 12th round. He's going to find a new home here soon. Isaiah Bond off the board. Oh, man. I mean, just really kicked himself in the nads, if we're being honest. Just really hurt himself entirely. Xavier Legette also comes off the board. Moose says, I think he's saying Henry was a better prospect than Amarion coming out of that year. Yeah. Look, I think you can make that argument, no doubt. But I think you're really devaluing Amarion Hampton as well. And Derrick Henry, when Derrick Henry came out, it was not like everyone thought he was going to become this player that he's become. Let's keep that in mind. There were a lot of questions on what sort of versatility he would have, what type of offense you could build around him. People definitely questioned his short area quickness, right? And ultimately, obviously, he proved all that wrong. Geno Smith is such a good pick there in the 13th round. And he also came into the NFL when teams were starting to value running backs less. We started to get towards that point a little bit. You know, he was like, what, early 2010s? We're starting to see a slight change of guard. Obviously, still had like Zeke, who went round 1, and the CMCs of the world. Came in 2016. Yeah, you were definitely starting to see like a change of the guard there. No. Look, everyone's welcome to their opinions, right? All right, are there any interesting rookies available? We'll grab Bashard Smith here. Yeah, I don't understand why people keep talking down to Amarion Hampton as a prospect. Is it really a helpful exercise to compare Derrick Henry as a prospect to Amarion Hampton? I don't feel like they're very similar as players. Maybe it is. I don't know. But he's a lock for the second round, man. If you think he's getting out of the second round, you're mistaking yourself big time. Where did Henry go? Henry was a second round pick, wasn't he? But yeah, literally the main question around Amarion Hampton coming into the draft was the athleticism. People weren't sure 100% if he was that good of an athlete. Same thing with Judkins. I had that concern with Judkins. I think he more than proved that he was. Rowan says, remember this, but I guarantee Hampton will go in the top 28 picks. Look, it's a possibility. He's certainly not getting out of round 2. But I think it's a possibility he goes round 1 if the right team is there. I mean, Najee, like, okay, so this is why this argument is stupid. Najee Harris was a first-round pick. Like, I know it's easy to trash on Najee now, but do you think Najee was a better prospect than Amarion Hampton coming out? Like, come on. We can go through all the first-round pick running backs, and you can have that argument. Do you think Sony Michel? Was Sony Michel a better prospect than Amarion Hampton? I mean, I'm just not sure exactly where that type of thinking is going to get us, but... I'd say running backs are more in demand today than they have been in the last, I don't want to say 10 years, but close to it. You're playing so many too high safeties now. It's needed now. I mean, teams are really starting to put a value on it. You know, that's another great point. Was Clyde Edwards-Helaire worth a first-round pick? I just don't know exactly where that debate's going to lead us. I can't lie, guys. I really want Sam Darnold to sign anywhere other than Minnesota. And I say that because I have so much J.J. McCarthy stock. I have so much J.J. McCarthy. I really, really want him to sign somewhere else. Oh, my gosh. All right, Jaylen Warren came off the board. DeAndre Swift. This round doesn't really matter anymore. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Did we reach our light goal? Did we reach our light goal? I don't know. Let me refresh here. Moose says Najee was a better prospect. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I don't actually remember what Najee did at testing. Did he even test, or did he like sit out? I can't remember. But Najee had some great years at Bama. I'm not 100% sure. I'd agree that he was a better prospect, but you can make the argument. What did Najee do at the combine? Did he test? I feel like I remember seeing him in pads or in the combine gear. I'll look it up. Rattler comes off the board. I mean, I don't hate taking a Aaron Jones in the 14th if I need to. I'm just gonna grab another veteran receiver like Diggs. Okay. What did Najee Harris do at the combine? Let's see. Yeah, guys. Oh, he didn't test, did he? No, he didn't test. I think there's a reason he didn't test. Yeah, that's all we have. All we had on him was measurements. But yeah, there's a reason that man did not test. RG says, yeah, I do think Najee was a better prospect than Amarion. Running back value is still trash for NFL draft capital unless you're generational like Barkley, Taylor Gibbs, and Genty. Right, so Breece Hall, Ken Walker, early second round picks recently. I think they were worthy of it. I think Hampton's worthy of it this year. And again, I think there's a changing of the guard. Even when those guys came into the NFL, I think running back is more valuable today than it was then. I don't really understand Najee being a better prospect, but I can respect it. I actually love to look at this. Let's see, Najee Harris. Let me remind myself what he did. And this will only show the regular season. But that year he got drafted. Yeah, it was a fine year. Let's have a look at this, shall we? I think purely if you were only to ask about film, I think Hampton will win this argument. But if we want to bring in, statistics and look at it that way as well, let's have a gaze, shall we? I think he's a better athlete by far. I don't think that's even close, but I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. So Najee Harris's best season. What did Najee Harris do in 2019? I don't remember. But this is the year he got drafted, and this is all in the regular season, so this doesn't account for anything postseason, by the way. These are the best 2 years from these two players. I really struggle to see how someone would say Najee was a better prospect. He was on the better team. Was nowhere near as good of a pass catcher. Nowhere near as explosive. Didn't force anywhere near as many missed tackles or yards after contact per attempt number. And we know how good those Alabama offensive lines were in that day too. So that would be tough for me to get on board with. We got 2 years of Amari and Hampton doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? This is what I don't understand. Why is no one giving Hampton love, man? I don't get it. What else did he need to do for you? This is Derrick Henry in 2015. He had one incredible year there in that behind that offensive line. And yeah, you could definitely make the argument for Derrick Henry, but I don't think it's as far off as you're making it out to be. What would have Martin Hampton done at Alabama? You know what I mean? I mean, it's a difficult comparison, isn't it? I can promise you, everybody does not love Amarian Hampton, bro. You need to spend literally 10 minutes on Twitter and tell me everyone loves Amarian Hampton. He's like the one that everybody's questioning. Him and Caleb Johnson. RJ said Amarian won't be a first-round pick, period. All right, you heard it here, guys. Go put your bets in. It's over. We've got insider information here. Look, I'm kidding. RJ, it's possible what you're saying is correct. You might not want to admit it, but it's possible what you're saying is not correct, right? So I think that's where I'm trying to meet you in the middle a little bit. All right, guys. Like I said, this was a 2-part stream. First part was doing the Dynasty Startup Draft. And second part is helping people by reviewing some of their Dynasty teams. So we've got 2 people already in the queue. Bayou Blaze, if you're watching this, I've already done your review. It was an offline review. You specifically requested that in the comment section. Big Laughter, I'm waiting for you to reply to give me your ID for your league. Flea Flicker, I think you said. Steads, we're going to get to today. And then we also should have John's here. Let me refresh. And John's should show up as well. Okay, yeah. So John is here. So right now we have Steads and John, or sorry, Ron. My bad, Ron. Steads and Ron locked in. I have 2 more openings if you want a same-day review for your team playbook, right? Team playbook, customized game plan for your offseason with customized trade targets and what to do with your draft capital. We call it a game plan for your offseason. Become a Land Annual Mother Flocker member. You'll get a voucher, or you can sign up with the Flock store. If you're on a different promo code, just make sure you get that live tier if you want it done live. Members get a discount. And by the way, when you become a live member, it is the best bang for, an annual member with the promo code LAND. It's the best bang for your buck. All right. Not only do you get our 2025 rookie report, which version 3 is about to be out with updates after the combine, new profiles. You get the team playbook and the review. You get a free trade question voucher. You get our complete rankings, all the databases and tools and draft guides on the website. And of course, you're supporting us, and you get discounts off future, reviews or trade questions or start sit questions in season, whatever, you decide to use it on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link to become an annual member in the chat now. That's there. I will also make that the pinned comment so you always have it. We have 2 spots left for a live review, same day review. And I will also put the link to the Flock store second in case you want to purchase one a la carte instead of becoming an annual member. 2 spots left. We are starting with a trade question here from Hall Goat. And you can ask us trade questions through the site whenever you like. The cool thing about our site is it will send you a time code to exactly when we answer your question. Beautiful, right? So we'll answer your question, and the time code will tell you exactly where it is. You'll click on the button, it'll tell you, it'll literally bring up the video to exactly when we start answering your question. So Hall Goat here, it looks like they would be sending away a second, the 105, and Jameson Williams for the 102. The second I don't worry about so much. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to send Jameson Williams away in this as well. It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8. Ron, the $66 is to purchase a team review exclusively for like members. If you already had your annual membership, if you're monthly, you don't get a voucher, right? But if you already had an annual membership, you would have had a voucher. And if you want to talk to our developers about that, you can go to our Discord and get some clarity there. If you go to site issues, okay, talk to them there if you have any questions. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have here. But you might have just purchased a team review a la carte, unless you're already an annual member, which you said that you were. So you might already have a voucher. If you go to your account, go to the top right, go to account, you might already have a voucher there. What does the chat think here? A lot of people are saying 102. I think I kind of agree. It is a little bit of a shallower league. Start 8. And his wide receivers, let's see. If he loses Jameson Williams, okay, he loses Jameson Williams. He adds the 102. He's looking to add a running back probably at the 102. Oh, guys, I don't know. I mean, can you counter by sending the 208 and the 301 instead of JMO? Can we counter? Okay. I don't know if it's going to let me show the exact pick, but what I'd like to do is remove JMO, make this the 208, and you had the 211, make it the 208 and the 211. But overall, I like the value in a 1 quarterback 12 team start 8, but your team is going to be really shallow if you make a move like this. And you should be able to get a pretty quality running back at the 105 still. So I'd be hesitant unless you can counter and close the gap a little bit. Ron says, okay, it is confusing. All right, let's make it super clear, guys, okay? So, as you guys know, on our website, you can support multiple different people, right? But not only can you support multiple different people, like if you wanted to sign up with my promo code, but you wanted to support Mason, for example, well, you can become a member with me, and I will give you a voucher for becoming a member. But then you can also go to our site and purchase a team review a la carte from any creator on the site, right? So the 2 ways you can get a team review is by becoming an annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. You'll get a voucher when you do that. For everybody. Point blank period. If you're a annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, you will always get a voucher. Not monthly, annually, right? And that voucher you can use in the checkout process to get the team review basically discounted for free. Does that make sense? Now, if you want to purchase, because some people like to purchase multiple reviews, if you want to purchase another review from someone else or from me and you use a different promo code or on my promo code, you can go to the Flock store, right? And let's be very specific. That top right, it's that personal advice button. You'll see team review. Okay, so if you already used your code last offseason, then that means that you got the team review at a discounted price, Ron. So you got your live team review. You're good to go, my friend. And if you renew again for another year, you'll just have another voucher for another team review. Does that make sense, my friend? But yeah, so you just purchased one a la carte, which is totally fine. You got the discount because you're a member. And yeah, you don't get more than one review annually, right? So you just purchased another one here, which is totally fine. You've done the right thing, my friend, and you'll get another voucher if you renew again your membership. Okay, let's go to Steds here. Steds, are you with me, brother? He says, Elias Stedman, I'm here. Okay, love to see it. And Ron, please let me know if you have any questions. You're good, Ron. Let me know if you need any clarification, my man. But no, the team reviews are not $10. Let me know if you want it refunded. Happy to do that for you, my friend. Elias is here. Red Dead Redemption, which obviously is a game that you've been playing. You are a 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 10. All right, 1 quarterback, 12 team, start 10. That makes you a pretty big lineup, actually. That makes you rolling deep as a starting lineup. So this is a deeper roster for a 1 quarterback league. There's no super flex spot. That's just an extra flex. And that is something that we obviously need to keep in mind as we go throughout this review. And I need to pull up our pathways as we're thinking about this. All right. Stead says, this team won me a championship this year unexpectedly. Now I'd like to position myself to repeat. I'd really like to stack my wide receiver room. My thought was to use the 1-8, 1-9 on running backs in this draft and flip assets on the roster for wide receiver production. There's interest in Brown, Bucky, Reed, J-Mo, etc. Okay, good to know. Red Stead Redemption. You're currently ranked second out of 12 in my rankings, and you're very close to first. You look like a very good team on paper. You've got Penix, Mayfield, Young, Dak. So while you don't have like a top 5 name, you have a lot of guys that you can start any week, and like Dak, Baker, Penix. Your running back room is great with Bijan, Bucky, Chase. Wide receiver room is Jefferson, Odunze, Williams, Reed, a little bit thin there, and then Sam Laporta. We've got the 108, 109, 112, 312, and 403. So a lot to work with there, which is fantastic. Let me just put these draft picks in so I know what we've got to work with on the chalkboard. And we'll come down here. Yeah, good draft capital for the type of team that you've built. I mean, if we think about this starting lineup right now, based off what we saw last year, you're probably starting Baker Mayfield. That's 1. Then Bijan, Bucky. That's 3. Then Jefferson, Jameson. That's 5. Laporta makes 6. Then you still need to flex 4 names, which would be Odunze, Reed, Brown, Jennings. So we're thin on depth, but the top end talent is really nice here. Your untouchables would be Bijan and Justin Jefferson, no doubt about it. The holds on this team, I would say Odunze is a fantastic hold for you. Jaden Reed is a fantastic hold. Jawan Jennings, especially after the move of Deebo Samuel. Jalen Wright. I like all these holds a lot. As far as drops, you can drop Bub Memes and Javon Baker if you need to make space. Your waiver wires are interesting. I'd rather personally pick up AJ Barner and drop Cade Stover. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a make or break for your team, but I would rather pick up AJ and drop Stover if you want to take that mental note there. Overall team grade. It's a pretty good team, especially when you consider you have a good amount of draft capital. Most teams with that top end talent don't have that draft capital. You don't have an elite tight end or quarterback or good depth at wide receiver. I would put this at I'd say you're probably B, a B flat. I couldn't say B plus yet. I'd say a strong B flat team with good draft capital. You have your first next year, which is great. And when I'm thinking about a pathway for this team, I don't see why you wouldn't be a contender. I definitely think you can make the playoffs with this team. I'm not going to sit here and say you're a favorite or anything, but I think you are right in the mix. Get into the playoffs, anything can happen. I think that's the definition of this team right here. Let's look at the chalkboard. Oops. Where are we at? Let me bring up your chalkboard here. Perfect. All right, so lots of draft capital to work with. We love to see it. I'd really like to add like an Igbuka, a Golden, some of those names. You know, you said my thought was to use a 1-8, 1-9 on running backs in the draft and flip the assets. Okay, which we can definitely do. I'm definitely not opposed to selling Chase Brown. Just, you know, we've seen some people buy him. We were on a stream last week and someone bought Trey McBride for Chase Brown. You know, so there's a certain part of the community that really values him. Like anything 105 to 107 is a smash accept, in my opinion. Okay. Now, beyond that, you can have a conversation, you know, like 108 to 110. You can decide if that's worth it as a contender. The issue is it's a risk reward right now with Chase Brown. We don't know if they're going to draft someone. If they do, there will be questions. His value will take a hit, but it doesn't mean he's going to lose his job. Of course, if they take someone in round 2, it becomes very difficult to envision him keeping his job. But it's difficult. It's not that different than Kyron Williams last year, where we were trying to digest it all. But yeah, at the 108, if you stick and pick, you're going to be in this range of, Burden probably doesn't fall, but some people are very low on him. Burden, Henderson, Judkins, Johnson, Ward, Sanders. I'll put Ibuka in that range as well, right? At the 112, you're more looking at like the tight ends potentially if it's a non-tight end premium, which it is. It's a half PPR as well, which we need to keep in mind. Those running backs are a little bit more valuable than a PPR league. This late into the draft, these third-round picks, we don't really know. We don't really know what they're worth right now. It's far too early to say. But if you stick and pick, Burden is probably not realistic, but you could come away with, a combination of Caleb Johnson, Emeka Egbuka potentially, Matthew Golden. Like, that's a realistic outcome for a team like this. One quarterback, though, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders aren't pushing those guys up the board, so it might be a little bit more difficult. So maybe instead of Egbuka here, you actually get Golden at the 109 instead. No, we have to think about that a little bit. And instead of Golden, you move like Tyler Warren range if that's like a risk reward that you're wanting to take on. But you're definitely not going to consider these quarterbacks in a one quarterback league that early. But that's not a bad haul at all. I mean, if you grab Caleb Johnson on this team, that's going to improve your flex spot, no doubt about it. If you want to keep him, if you want to sell him, you're going to be adding Golden and Travis Hunter to a pretty good wide receiver room already. Now Jameson becomes maybe your wide receiver 4. Jaden Reed becomes your wide receiver 5. Jennings becomes a fun what if. You get a ton more flexibility there in a deeper league. Now, the other options, you could look at selling these picks. I'm not a huge fan of where these picks kind of land as far as what you can get for them. I actually just did a video on this. And in that late range, you're kind of like DJ Moore could make sense for a team like this, adding a DJ Moore to your roster. I mean, maybe Brandon Ayuk plus something. We'll talk about what that plus could be. Like Chris Olave plus something. I mean, if you want to go like with your 112 and explore, you could probably look towards like Ricky. We could look at Ricky Pearsall plus something potentially. DK Metcalf is an interesting name to bring up there. Yeah, so let's explore those. I think DJ Moore straight up. Ayuk, Olave, Pearsall, you can get more. So who has Ayuk? Let's start there. And if Ron is with us, please feel free to ask any questions, man, if anything was confusing there, by the way. But Brandon Ayuk, he also has DK Metcalf. But like an Ayuk 206 would be more than enough for me. I would happily do that. Obviously, you can try 205 first. As far as DK goes, I feel like he's much cheaper. Metcalf, you can probably get straight up for the 112. I mean, you might even be able to like send him. What I would love to do is do like the 112 and Chase Brown for DK Metcalf and James Cook. That kind of range I'd like to be in. But some people prefer Chase Brown over James Cook. But even if you can add like we'll send you Baker Mayfield if you can send us Bo Nix type of move here. How far can you flex it out? You know, but I really like that idea. James Cook just feels safer to me. Yeah, as far as Ayuk, I think, like, we're kind of maxed out there a little bit with that 205 or 206. Could you sell Chase Brown? No. Okay. Just trying to think creatively here. But yeah, I like that route. Let's look at the Olave-owned team. Who owns Chris Olave? All right, Chris Olave is owned by Smooth as Fast. He's got the 102 and the 209. Not really loving that, but like an Olave Walker. Olave plus Ken Walker. And then the 109 plus like Chase Brown. And then maybe what we can do is add that 209 to your side. 36 Mafia would do the 107 for Brown straight up. Okay, beautiful. Look, I think you have to recognize, Elias, that, and I can recognize this too, if the Bengals don't address running back at all in the draft, free agency, this will be a decent price for Chase Brown. Okay? But how good this class is, it makes me hesitant, man. It makes me want to... I just think the 107 has more secure value in the next 2 months. So I'd be willing to do that. Of course, try the 106 or the 105 first, but I'd be willing to do that for sure. So we talked about Olave. I'd also like to go and look at a Ricky Pearsall deal. Ricky Pearsall. Okay, so they've got Pearsall. I mean, this is a tougher one. What about like Pearsall JT? We can get Ricky Pearsall plus Jonathan Taylor. We send the 112 and Chase Brown. How about something like that? That could be really nice. I really like that idea. Straight up names, though. Outside of these guys, I mean, I would say like Jalen Waddle comes to mind as well. He's very cheap right now. You know, Jordan Addison is probably going to cost more than the 112. Maybe you send the 112 and the 312 to start a conversation. But he's probably going to cost more than that in most formats. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this Pearsall JT deal. Would love the Ayuk deal as well. I think DJ Moore is a perfect add for your team. I really like those 4 trades a lot. Where's our team at here? They have the 107. Could you like sneak the 107 and almost like, could you do the 107 and the 302? You think they would sneak that in there, the 302 or the 207? Do you think that's possible? Can you stretch it there? 207 and then you offer them the 312, for example? Like, is that possible? Charlie, there's a chance for another review. I just realized I have a meeting with my tax guy in about an hour. But if you sign in, at worst, you'll be on the live stream. If you sign up for a review, at worst, you'll be on the live stream tomorrow. I'm planning on tomorrow's stream being completely dedicated to team reviews, by the way, because we won't be streaming on Thursday night. So if you're out there and you want a team review, it's a good time anyway, because if whoever signs up next will be the first review on next stream. KG says anything's possible. I love it. All right, what did my tax guy just say? Is he still meeting me in an hour? Let's see. Okay, yes. So we are still on for a call in an hour. But yeah, like that would be ideal if you can get that 207 somehow in that deal. But obviously, if that doesn't work, try the 302, and then I think I'd settle for the 107 as well. But yeah, I mean, let's say you turn Chase Brown into the 107, and then the 107 becomes Henderson or Judkins for you. You know? And then you add Golden, you add Caleb Johnson, Travis Hunter, or you turn the 109 into Ayuk or DJ Moore. You're starting to fill these needs of your team with the wide receiver depth and also adding running back strength. That's the main areas that I would be focused on personally. I think you're a great team. You're just a couple moves away. Draft capital, I'd probably give that draft capital a grade of like a B+. You got 3 first rounders this year. They're just all late. But yeah, I think you're in a really good spot, man. I would feel very good if I were you. But I want to give you some time here. Please ask me any questions that you have, anything you think I didn't cover well enough. But I think with these type of moves, you're definitely going to be in a position where, you know, you're definitely in the playoffs. You're definitely competing. You know, if you find this year as Brian Thomas, Bucky Irving, anything is possible for a team like this. I wouldn't move Bucky, by the way, in your position as a competing team. I definitely want to build around him. But yeah, man, great team. Elias says, appreciate you. Let me know if you have any last minute questions, my man. We'll move on to Ron's here. But yeah, we'll move on to Ron's here, and we'll pull back up these pathways. Again, tomorrow's stream, guys, will be completely dedicated to team reviews. So start around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get your team reviews in, you want a live reaction and same day, then tomorrow's a great day to get them in the queue, ready to go. Appreciate you, Steads. Thanks for becoming a member for another year, my friend. And Captain Ron is up next. What Captain Ron might be confused about, by the way, was that Stead said $10. That's because he used his yearly voucher and just chose the live tier. That might be what Captain Ron was confused about. But we are here, Ron. Your team is next, my friend. And I'm going to pull up your playbook. And let me make a chalkboard for you, my man. Harder to do this on my own without Badaki because there's just so many things going on, but just bear with me here. 5-1, and we've got Captain Ron. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Elias says, what if the Packers address wide receiver again? You scared of Reed at all? No, because I think they need to. I think they need an outside receiver. Reed is not going to be that for them. He's going to be their slot guy. So I think he's a very safe asset to own right now. Exactly. Watson's injury, they have a huge need anyway. All right, Fred Garvin is the team here. This is a 2-quarterback, 12-team start 9 with a tight end premium. So this is a big boy league. Start 11. That is actually another rolling deep roster here just in Superflex, right? So, Ron, you'll probably have either 4 flex spots or 3 flex spots and 3 starting wide receivers. Either way, depth is important in a league like this. You're currently ranked 3rd in my rankings out of 12 teams, and this league is very top heavy. Some people made some mistakes, and that is definitely impacting the strengths and weaknesses of your league as a whole. But let's have a look. He says, looking at getting the best at where I pick. So we are team 3 here, and I like this start here with Daniel Stroud. Would like a quarterback 3, obviously, but that's a really good 1-2 punch there, as I'm going to add your draft picks to the chalkboard. Now, I was selling Stroud all offseason last year. I think he's now actually kind of turned into a buy, so I wouldn't really suggest to sell him now. He's kind of come back way back down to earth with his value. But last year we were selling him high off of that rookie season. But still an incredible quarterback 2 on your roster. Like, yeah, probably not going to be a quarterback 1 to lead you to championships, but he can be a reliable quarterback 2 on a good roster in Superflex. Then we have Achan. No one else really is Charbonnet. Puka, London, Waddle, Shakir. Trey McBride, Mark Andrews. It's a tight end premium, so I like to see Trey McBride there. That's a huge boost. And we've got a good amount of draft capital. 102, 103, 202, 207. Ron says we have 7 flexes. Okay, so with 1 super flex. So the way you guys are actually rocking, let me make sure I got this right, is you're rocking like this. So you have 7 flexes, which tells me if you have 7 flexes, that means you only have 1 starting wide receiver and running back, right? 2, 3. Or are you including that as super flex in that flex? That'd be 4, 5, maybe 12. Start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Okay, so you don't have to start receivers. Okay. So is this correct? That would be 2, 4, 5. That would be start 12 though. Or are you including the super flex there? I think that's probably what you're doing. You're including the super flex, right? So it's probably more like this. It's probably 6 flexes, 1 super flex, correct? Right? So this is what I think it probably looks like. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, tight end, 6 flex, and 1 super flex. That's what I'm gathering here. Because that's 2, 4, 5. Yeah, that's a start 11 there. Elias, your playbook will be available within it'll be available within 72 hours, my friend. In fact, Badaki's probably going to get it to you within 48 hours here, because we're both going on a trip here, so he's probably going to get them done earlier this week. But within 48 hours, you'll go to the My Reviews tab where you submitted your review and go to completed. And within 48 hours in the message tab of your review, you'll see your team playbook. Sorry, I should have clarified that. Normally, Badaki does that when he's here with us. Okay, cool. So we have the right lineup there. So right now, you're starting Daniels. You're starting Daniels. Then Achan Sharps at the moment, I guess. Then we are flexing Puka, London, Waddle. McBride is starting at tight end. Andrews is flexing for us as well. Shakir is flexing. And then your depth is really struggling, isn't it? Obviously, you're starting Stroud there as well. Depth is the problem in a league like this. You really need quality depth, and you don't have it right now, but that's okay. Overall team grade right now, I'd put you at you have a lot of top end talent, and McBride is huge in a 0.75 premium. I'd probably put this in the B+ category. I'd probably put you in the B+ category. Now, as far as looking at a pathway, I kind of think you're in like a sleeper team right now. I feel like I'd put you between sleeper and contender. This year could go the right way for you with these draft picks, and you could definitely be in the playoffs making noise. But you're not the favorite with this sort of depth. You're right there in the mix. You'll probably make the playoffs. But if injuries happen, if some of these draft picks don't perform the way we want them to, you can kind of pivot again towards a 1-year punt if that happens. That's why we put you right in that little cozy sleeper pathway. Draft capital is great. 2 really impact picks there. I'd probably put your draft capital grade at a B+ range. Untouchables on this team would include Jaden Daniels and Puka Nacua. As far as holds on this team, Stroud is worth holding at this point. He's not a sell anymore. Waddle's worth holding. He's not a good sell at this point. Those are my 2 favorite holds on this team. Let's add Michael Mayer. I really like Michael Mayer and Jared Wiley. In a tight end premium like this, I like holding those guys. If you need to drop someone, you can definitely let go of Tanner McGee or Kyle Trask or Bub Memes, Trey Palmer. You know, these are all guys that you can easily let go of if you need to clear up space. Again, if you need to take it a step further because of all the draft capital you have, you can add Tez Walker to the list. I don't want to give up on Polk, but if you have to. Tucker, Shipley if you need. Waiver wire, you have nothing. This waiver wire is butt-ass naked. So you probably have pretty deep benches. But yeah, I'd say sleeper pathway. Let's pull up your chalkboard here. And let's look at this draft capital. A team like this, you have a lot of picks, but because it's a start 11 and depth is so important, I might not be opposed to a tier down from the 102. I think we are going to explore that. I think we are going to explore a tier down. Again, if this is your team and you're telling me it's a start 9, I'm probably not as bothered. But in a start 11, you really don't have that depth there. I think you're probably going to be better off tearing down from that 102 and keeping the 103. So we will explore that. And we'll look at all options, obviously. And, make sure you know all the options that are available on the table to you. But if we do stick and pick, at that 102, I don't know if you saw my most recent, updated video where I talked about how I think Amari Hampton has a good chance to go in round 1. And if he does, he'd be locked and loaded at my 102. So if you stick and pick, he would be the option. But you could add other guys here, like Henderson and Judkins if they get first round draft capital somehow. You could totally add those guys to this kind of list. But you're probably at this point, based off what we know, ending up with a Hampton and a McMillan, which is a great outcome, by the way. That's a very, very good outcome. You come to the second round, you're looking at names like, if Golden falls, a Loveland could possibly fall. Not in your league, actually. Your league wouldn't. Loveland wouldn't fall. Then you look at like the later part of that round, in Elijah Arroyo, these running backs that we really love. Royals, Harris, those Iowa State boys. By the way, IS boys is Iowa State boys now. Just so you guys know when we're doing these reviews. Just to save space, I couldn't make it work. But yeah, that's if you stick and pick. And look, this is not a bad outcome. You get a Hampton, a McMillan. Maybe, best case scenario, Golden falls. You end up with Devin Neal here. I don't know. It's not a bad outcome, right? You're adding Hampton, Neal, McMillan, Golden, potentially. That's going to help you a lot. That gives you a starting lineup of Daniels, Stroud, Achane, Hampton, Puka, McMillan, London, Waddle, McBride, Shakir Andrews. That's not bad at all. That's a great lineup. And if everybody stays healthy and they perform to expectation or above expectation, you could be cooking with gas. But what I might want to do is tier down from the 102. And we will only do this because, I like to think it goes without saying, but sometimes you have to clarify. You only tier down if you get the value we want. If you can't get the value we want, you can wait until the NFL draft and try again when the draft pick is at its all-time high in value. And if you're not able to get the value in general, you can stick and pick. You don't have to force it. But let's look at a potential tier down. So what we'd like to do is find teams that have multiple draft picks or players. Like a JSN 111 would be super intriguing to me. I don't think that's possible. JSN plus 111, right? Like that. Again, I don't think this is possible. This is just like a starting offer that would make me pull the trigger in a league that says deep as yours. It's full PPR as well. That's good to know. I don't think that guy's a very good fit, by the way, so let's keep looking. The 105 and the 107. That is absolutely perfect. And don't tell me it's not possible, because I see this trade happen every single day. It might not be possible in some of your leagues, but we see that trade happen every single day. The 105 and the 110 plus something else. Can you get Brandon Ayuk involved in this deal? Can you send back your 202? The 102 and the 202 for the 105, 110, and Brandon Ayuk. This guy's got a ton of wide receivers. Does he want to look at the running back position? We already obviously know that's your team. Free Flacco. I really don't like Zay and Reed as options there, so I'm not going to explore that 108, 112, unfortunately. We've got the 104 here and a Dunze. I mean, you could try like a you could try the 102 and the 202 for a deal like this, a Dunze and the 104. I can't promise you're gonna get the result you want, but you can try a format like that. This guy has a 106 and the 109. You can probably add in that sort of format the 205 on top of that. I like that deal a lot, but he's very barren of talent, so I'd be shocked if he did that. I think those are your main options. Like a team like this, Tua Fish Sandwich, is honestly awful. Like they don't even have their own first and 26. I was going to say we could trade for that, but they don't have it. But I think these are your main options here. Look, if we want to think about the 108, 112 team, I'm just struggling to find a deal I'd really like with this guy. I mean, it'd have to be 108, 112. Plus a future first, you know? And what we can do is we can hit them back with our 207 and 302. Something like that. I prefer to keep the 302, so you can try the 207 first, but if you need to add that, you could. That's the type of value you want to get in a trade down. If it's not possible, fair enough. You can't force someone to do a trade down. But in plenty of leagues, these type of deals are happening. It's just about finding the right owner, right? Now, what about trying Marvin Harrison? Like a Marvin Harrison... Like, I almost wonder if you could do this, depending on what they think of Marvin Harrison. They have the 110. You send them back the 207. I've seen this deal. Ron says, that's what I was thinking for 2 and 3. Ron says, some of these guys are very hard to trade with. They always have to win the trade. And that will make it tough. And I think that's why I say, you know, wait. If you need to, you can wait until the draft. When these trades are typically the easiest is when if you have a slow draft, for example, you're on the clock and someone is falling in love with the player. Last year, Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals. Oh my God, there's no way this isn't going to work out. This is fantastic. I'm getting the next, wide receiver 1 in Dynasty, right? And they're on the clock and they're like, I need to tear up. So it's much easier to do that in season, and your slow draft is a perfect format. But there's no harm in trying it now. Just know if you don't get the value and they're not willing to do it, remain patient. Patience is going to be your best friend. Now, honestly, for the 103, I would do any of these trades as well, but let's reshape them for the 103 real quick. Let's reshape these trades because you're not going to extract the same value. The 102 is really the area where you're really extracting value. Like Jason's more of a straight up at that point. So yeah, like Jason doesn't really make sense anymore. If you try and use the 103, it's just not going to be enough. The guy who has the 105 and the 107, now it's more like the 105 and the 110. You know, that's more the range you should expect. The guy who has Brandon Ayuk, we probably need to add the 207 onto that now. The Roma Dunze deal is not going to be possible anymore because you lose a little bit of leverage there. We'll do it for the 106 and the 109 for sure. Now, you're not going to get a future first in this deal. But what did that 108 team have? What did they have? I'm trying to remember. Okay, they had the 204. So maybe you can net something like that from the 103. Marvin. Yeah, no one's going to give you Marvin for that. At that point, you lose leverage just like JSN. So those are really your main tear down options and your main teams that you'd like to target, I'd say, if you want to go that route. I really love the idea of going the Ayuk route. Just a sucker for that type of move. The 106, 109 route. And the Marvin Harrison. Or we'll do one of these at the 103. But we'll look at other options, obviously, on the team. Oh yeah, Ronick asked this question: can we access the spreadsheet? I think we don't explain it well enough all the time. But just so you guys know, this is like our active chalkboard for you when we're coming up with these ideas. When you actually look at your playbook, which gets sent within 72 hours of, the team being reviewed, you see that right side of the board there that says the chalkboard? All the information that you see that we'll do on a live review will be put in that chalkboard. In fact, there are plenty of times where we go through so much information that we have to send you 2 chalkboards. So it is always sent in your team playbook after your review is done, right? Okay, now as far as on your team, sell highs? I don't think there's any sell highs here. Look, Ron, we could go down the route of, because it's such a big league, you can tear down from Jaden Daniels and just really dominate. I don't want to do that. You already have enough draft capital to fix some of these holes. I'd rather keep Jaden Daniels long term. It sucks that you don't have a quarterback 3, but if those guys stay healthy, you won't need to address it anyway. And we're not really looking to full-on compete like all out windows open this year anyway. Achan's interesting. I was going to say, if you can get the 102, he's an interesting sell, but you already have the 102. Shakir is the one name I can think I'm open to selling high on this team, because I've seen some ridiculous trades. And look, there have been people who have come into our live streams, and I'm not kidding when I say this. They say, hey, I just got an offer. Someone sent me the 105 for Shakir. Should I take the 105? We're like, yes, please take the 105. Hey, someone just offered me the 109 and the 203. Should I take that for Shakir? Yes, please take that for Shakir. So any first in any year is a no-brainer. But even like 2 early seconds, we would sell him for. Like if someone sent you the 201 and the 204 this year, it's a no-brainer. We're taking that deal. No doubt about it. And I would say one last thing here. And Ron, if there's any questions that you have, now's a good time to put them in the chat so I can answer any questions. Make sure I do a really good job for you. But the only other thing I wanted to look at here is I want to just look at equivalent KTC value and see if there's any tear downs we can explore. So right now on KTC, we'll probably have to go to their third page, I imagine. Or is he more valuable than that? He's more valuable than Coleman. Maybe he's a top 100 asset. Okay. Okay, so Shakir, where are you, buddy? Okay, so Shakir, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, I prefer Jerry Jeudy. If you can get like McMillan in a plus, like a second, third round swap in that example. Ricky Pearsall, if you can somehow turn him into Ricky Pearsall, that would be my number one priority. That would be just an incredible time to cash in. Brandon Ayuk isn't far off. I mean, look, what did you have? You had the 207. Can we send the 302 for Brandon Ayuk? You know, does it have to be the 207? I think I'd pay that, honestly. So that's the only other thing I could think of personally. Yeah, in Chasing Breakers, you could totally be right. Like, you might need a Bills fan in your league, but the only reason I bring this up is because it's just happened so often since Shakir signed that contract that it feels like I just need to let you guys know, if you have an opportunity to pull the trigger on one of these deals, you should do it. But love the idea of getting Ayuk there. We talked about these trade downs. That's the direction I take this team, my friend. And of course, this is your online live chalkboard, but when your team is, you know, we've done the live review, but we'll be working on your playbook in the back end, and within 72 hours, you'll receive it. On the right side of the screen here, you'll see the chalkboard. That's where all that additional information will be for you. And again, tomorrow's stream, guys, is going to be dedicated towards team reviews. And Ron, please let me know if you have any questions that I didn't answer, my friend. This is your time to shine. But if you want your team playbook, customized game plan for your offseason, right? Really customized, detailed for exactly what we would do with your team. Become a Land annual Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND, right? Or go to the Flock store, regardless what promo code you're on, and purchase one a la carte. You know, if you're already a member and you've used your voucher, you can purchase another one a la carte if you prefer. But tomorrow's stream will be chocked full of team reviews. So it's a great time to get your team review in, because you will be first on the queue tomorrow if you're watching this now or later. And tomorrow's stream will be dedicated to that. Ron says, thank you, my friend. No worries, my man. I appreciate you big time. And obviously, we'll get that review to you here ASAP. ASAP Rocky. Oh, but I think that's it for today. I think that's it for today, gang. Had a fun time, man. And last thing I'll say, again, if you weren't with us at the beginning of the stream, we are looking to bring on a video editor. Ideally, someone who lives in the UK or Europe, but you don't have to be. It's not a requirement. I'll smash this link in the chat. I'll spam it in there. It's a Google form where you can apply to potentially join the team as a video editor. And make sure you read the description in detail if you want to be a part of the team. But that is it, guys. I'll see you soon. Video comes out tomorrow. And yeah, all love. Have a good night.